Now, Lee had two choices when he went into Maryland. He could go west of the Blue Ridge or east of the Blue Ridge. In the Gettysburg campaign, he went west of the Blue Ridge. Antietam campaign, he chose to go east of the Blue Ridge. And the reason was, by marching to Frederick, Maryland, where that right arrow goes to, he threatened Pennsylvania, he threatened Baltimore, and he threatened Washington, D.C. Because what was one of Lee's goals in this campaign? To force the Federal Army to put someone in the field before they were ready. That's going to do it. When you put that sort of threat, they're going to have to put somebody in the field to confront you. That was his plan. There were two Union garrisons. If you can see the towns of Martinsburg and Harper's Ferry kind of over towards the left, there were Union garrisons at both of those places. Lee figured that they were going to do the prudent thing, and they would both, when he occupied Frederick, those garrisons would withdraw into Pennsylvania. So that was the plan. The Army marches to Frederick, and lo and behold, those garrisons do not leave. They stay in place. And Lee characteristically doesn't see this as a problem. He sees this as an opportunity. Let's get them. The Army of the Potomac is going to move very slowly. They're disorganized, low morale. We've got time. So he devises a very complex plan. 3 different columns, Jackson, McLaws, and Walker, will converge upon Harper's Ferry from 3 different directions. They will also drive the Union garrison at Martinsburg out or destroy it. And meanwhile, another force will move to Boonesboro. The primary mission of that force at Boonesboro is to intercept the Harper's Ferry garrison if it tries to escape north. And the last piece is in Hagerstown. Lee is going to move up there with General Longstreet's command because Hagerstown is going to be his spring. Springboard for the invasion of Pennsylvania. It's also a place, one of the larger communities in Western Maryland, where he can obtain supplies for his army. But you can see the risk that he's taking here. He's got 2 rivers, the Potomac and the Shenandoah. He's got mountain ranges, and these units are widely dispersed from one another. George B. McClellan and the Army of the Potomac moved across the state of Maryland between September 7th and September 12th, and they're going to march up to Frederick. Now, Lee had hoped by September the 12th, all of the pieces to encircle Harper's Ferry would be in place. And by the end of that day, they were, but they were nowhere near to the point that they could force the surrender of Harper's Ferry. So McClellan reaches Frederick. He really had no idea what Lee was doing. He was getting just all sorts of conflicting intelligence reports. And then on September the 13th, 2 enlisted soldiers in one of his regiments found Lee's operational order wrapped around 3 cigars, Special Orders number 191, changes the campaign. Now, some people have argued it didn't help McClellan. I think it helped him a lot. It galvanized McClellan. He now understood what it was Lee was trying to do. And make a long story short, McClellan planned an offensive for the next day, September the 14th, an offensive that Robert E. Lee did not realize was impending. He knew the Union Army was going to make some sort of a move, but he wasn't sure what it was. On the 14th of September, McClellan attacked in what's called the Battles of South Mountain, at Crampton's Gap, at Turner's Gap, and Fox's Gap. Crampton's the lower gap. South Mountain is where Fox and Turner's Gaps are. Lee had to march down from Hagerstown with Longstreet. They had to double quick almost the whole way. Longstreet lost almost half of his men on the march just from fatigue, guys falling out. They fight the Federals at Fox and Turner's Gap to a standstill, but they lose all the key terrain. So you're going to have to retreat. At Crampton's Gap, Federal troops smash their way through and get into the valley, what's called Pleasant Valley, and now they have trapped McLaws, who has 2 divisions, McLaws and Anderson's divisions, at the bottom of the valley. McLaws is in trouble. Lee's entire army is in great jeopardy. His campaign into Maryland now threatens to turn into a debacle. Lee, at 8 p.m. on September the 14th, sends a message to McLaws, and he tells McLaws, in essence, the campaign is over. This army will retreat by way of Sharpsburg to Shepherdstown and cross the Potomac River there. September 15th, Lee was near the middle bridge that crosses over Antietam Creek. A farm wife had brought out a cup of coffee for him, and he was drinking his cup of coffee, and he received this message written the night before by Stonewall Jackson. Through God's blessing, the advance, which commenced this evening, has been successful thus far, and I look to him for complete success tomorrow. Harper's Ferry is going to surrender. Never forget that Lee is an opportunist. Now you've got a chance here. So the question is, as we look at a map, it doesn't look good, does it? Look at where the Army of the Potomac is, all the little black guys up there. And the white units are the Army of Northern Virginia. You see the distance that McLaws and Walker and Jackson have to march to reach Lee. The Union Army is going to win that race. So the key for Lee is how aggressive is McClellan going to be on September the 15th, and how fast can my men march? Because if we can reconcentrate in Maryland, I want to try and fight them here. And on September the 15th, McClellan made a pursuit. He gets greatly criticized where he should have attacked Lee. He couldn't have attacked Lee on September the 15th. The one thing he could have done that he didn't do, he did not cross any forces over Antietam Creek. If I'm Lee, that indicates to me that McClellan is going to behave like he often does, prudently and cautiously. Now I got a chance. I might be able to reassemble my army, because I don't think that he can attack me until at the latest the afternoon of September the 16th, and he might not even attack me then. He has now made a decision. He's going to fight a battle at Sharpsburg. McClellan doesn't make the decision. Lee makes the decision. He could have left. He pulled all his reserve artillery out, except for a couple battalions. He put it over to guard the fort at Shepherdstown. He took all of his trains and marched them over to the Virginia side. He was ready to leave, but he changes his mind. Now he's going to fight at Sharpsburg.